Hello everybody, this is day 2 officially of EE093 College Reading 2. With this video I just kind of want to take a few minutes and go over a little bit more in detail what I said I would provide to you the other day. My apologies for getting this to you late, but I wanted to show you anyways how to maneuver kind of through these learning modules that are set up for you in this course. So what I'm going to do here for now is I'm going to click on this link, and this will take us into the learning module main area. So when you're in here, you'll see that there is there's an outline area to the left here, and that you are automatically taken to the very first in the line here. And I set it up this way that you can jump around here. But every time that you come back in, you're going to be taken right to the very beginning again. To maneuver through this, here's the PowerPoint. I did put this in here as a PowerPoint file and also as a PDF too, because there were a few students that were having issues opening the file. So essentially what I'm going to do here from this point forward is I'm going to put it in here both as a PowerPoint and as a PDF as well. The issue, I think, is one of a browser issue, and the majority of students got back to me saying they didn't have any trouble. So in order to open the file, I am using Google Chrome right now. So if I click on the file itself, you'll notice that it does open down here. Let me expand my window here a little bit, move this down. You should be able to see down here that it opened down here. So all I have to do is simply to click on it and to open the PowerPoint file up. Okay. I think that's an issue that some folks were having, and I'm just going to cancel this out when it opens, but I'll talk through this for a minute. The issue that some folks were having was, as I briefly mentioned, was one more of a browser issue than anything else. So I think I have all of those worked out except for one, which I have to work through with another student yet. Okay. So once you read through the information here, you can advance over here, or you can advance here. Okay. My suggestion would be to advance over here using the arrow. The only reason for that, well, the main reason for that is that you may skip important information if you're just clicking through on this left outline area. This is more there for you, that if you don't want to, if you're in this for an hour and you go out and you come back in, that you can jump into it to where you left off instead of progressing through all the individual pages here. Okay, so I'm going to click on the arrow here just to show you briefly how to navigate through these a bit. Just some brief information here for you. And that you should note when you get to a page that is a file itself, which we're at here now, I have it set up to open up automatically in a new window. Okay, and the reason that I do that, and I'm going to move my screen here a bit, the reason I do that is that when you're done reading through this, instead of trying to navigate or get back, you simply have to close out that additional tab that opened up. Okay, and then when you're ready to move on to the next one, same thing. This is another PDF that's in there, so you can see it opened up again. Here's my Blackboard tab here. It opened up in a new tab here, so you can simply close that out after you read through it. And then you're moving on to page 5, which again is another file, so it's opening here again in a new tab for you, so on and so forth. Okay, that you will note here that you should be able to see, because it's bolded a bit and there's a rectangle and it's shaded a little bit around the area that you're in. So you can double check here. This is where we are, and you can see that over here it's highlighted a bit for your quick reference if you want to look and see where you are in this area. That's especially helpful if you're going to jump out and come back in at a later point. Okay. When you get through this entire way, like I said, you can jump around here if you'd like. I'm going to jump to the introduction section. Now this one here, I wanted to just jump ahead there and if you have any trouble, let me backstep for a minute. If you have any trouble with the files not opening in a new window, because I don't know how all browsers are going to handle this. I'm especially not, familiar with how Microsoft Edge will handle that opening in new browsers. So if you do have issues with that, please let me know right away. But the way I have it set up is the way I just showed you, is the way that it's supposed to work. Okay. So whenever you get to the discussion area, and many of you have already posted your introductions, this is where you're going to click to launch. I put this at the top of the page so that you can see that it is indeed here where you're supposed to click to launch the discussion. Okay, and there you go. It'll take you to the discussion area, and then always you'll create a new thread unless you're responding to another student. So you click on create a thread, put a title in for that thread. It'll automatically put your name in there as the author. Now if you want to respond to someone else, you click on the student's post, and then you can click here to reply. Okay. All right. So I believe that is it. As I said, I'll post some information here in the next couple of days, getting some more information into kind of navigating through the textbook itself. I think that should be a pretty good overview of how to navigate through the Blackboard course. Next step is to kind of help you navigate through the textbook a little bit, most especially how to navigate through the practices. And I'll just say this briefly now, and as I said, I'll get into more detail about it later. But the textbook is very interactive. So it's not like picking up a novel and that you can just start reading and read from from page 10 to page 30 and take all that information in. It's presenting you with some information. You have to stop and reflect on it, practice what you just read or what you just learned, and then proceed on to the next area. And it's built on this idea of giving you information in stages. So starting with the very basics of trying to identify main ideas in a body of work, and then once you're able to practice through and get a sense of the skill set that's involved with identifying main ideas in readings, that you can then move on to the next step. Okay, very much, if you can think of it as an analogy like this. If you remember going back to your early courses of learning algebra, I like to use this example because it works really well. As you're progressing through algebraic equations, if you were out of school, sick for a week, or missed school for athletics or whatever it was, and you missed several days of the algebra class, when you tried to come back in, it's oftentimes very difficult to pick up if you missed a chunk of days. And the reasoning for that is because very much, in trying to identify and learn algebraic equations, you are learning it in steps. Okay? And that's very much the mindset that I believe students should be in when they're trying to practice and hone and learn new skills for reading textbooks, reading articles, journal articles, other academic writings and such. Okay, I'll say that for now. Again, I'm very glad and very happy to see the interaction already in the course. I hope you're all pleased with the first couple of days of the class, and we'll be chatting soon. Take care. Have a good evening.